Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we're going to be doing a review for The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 4. We have a new episode. We are now in Seattle. But what is going to happen now with, Ellie and Dina and the wolves and all that stuff? We're going to get into it. Before I get fully into spoilers, this was a really, really cool episode. We're back into some high octane action. We have big sequences. A lot of things happen both emotionally and to move the story forward. We have some revelations. We have a new flashback back to 2018. We'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, this one does a lot to both develop the story that we're following now and really raise the stakes on a lot of it, both emotionally, physically, and just like as we're going on this journey, I'm like, how are these two young women just gonna like do all this stuff against this gigantic army that we know is out there, right? They don't know, but we know as the viewer. So yeah, I'm just like, please go back, just go back, and stop looking for trouble. Obviously, that's not how this show's gonna go because that otherwise you wouldn't have a show. But it makes me so nervous and so anxious every time we get into one of these things. So let's get into it. All right. So we begin with a flashback to 2018 in Seattle. We see a Fedra convoy with a bunch of soldiers, including Sergeant Isaac Dixon, who is just such a great character. The fact that um, they bring somebody like Jeffrey Wright to do this role, first of all, it's going to be great, but it's also going to be pretty important. It's going to be somebody that really affects the story. So I'm very glad to finally really get to see this character that we've been seeing in the trailers. In the trailers, we keep seeing him torturing this individual. So we'll get to that in a second. But we see the story of how kind of the wolf and the resistance in Seattle started. They were under the heel of Fedra because Fedra was kind of controlling everything. But I think the Fedra just spread too thin, and all these little towns started kind of overtaking them, probably, in a lot of these other cities. So he kills his own troops, and then the cold open finishes. We get to the initial titles, back to 2029. So 10 years later. Um, we see Dina and Ellie. They are finally in Seattle. They're looking around. They stumble into a tank. They stop at a pharmacy. We get a hint that Dina, she found something, and my immediate thought was like, oh, it's probably a pregnancy test, just because of the way that they didn't show it, and the fact that she told Ellie that she had to pee. So it doesn't. It's there's a lot of things that the show does very well, and some things that they're not really being subtle, right? So I like that they just trust the viewer to kind of put things together, because later on we'll find out that's exactly what was going on. I also like seeing that Dina's kind of the brains of the operation. Like she's really thinking a bunch of steps ahead of what Ellie is doing. Right? Ellie feels like she's very focused on just the one thing that she needs to do. Meanwhile, Dina is really trying to figure out not only how to get this mission done, but how to live and move on past it. Like she doesn't want, she's definitely not just trying to go out there in a blaze of glory, which Ellie might be looking to do. So they hold up in a music store to just kind of regroup and plan out their next plans. Ellie goes up, she finds a guitar and she sings "Take on Me." Oh my goodness, what just very emotional scene. Obviously, Joel was the teacher for Ellie when it came to the guitar, and he probably taught her this song. And uh, you know, Bella Ramsey does such a good job with this performance, that I didn't know they could sing like that. So yeah, it was a very emotional. Even when Dina came up, and Isabel Merced, like same, like just reacting to the song, like very emotional scene, because they haven't truly had a proper time to grieve, right? They've really been working and worrying so much about the next steps, about getting this group, about reaching Abby and doing what they need to do. So uh Dina and Ellie, actually we go back to Isaac. We see Isaac in a kitchen. He's talking a little bit. It's interesting to see meet characters that were around before everything happened, right before the infection spread. He's in a kitchen. He's talking to one of the scars, which is we met in the last season, is the religious group that kind of has those scars on their cheeks. Uh, he's torturing somebody named Malcolm, who's one of those scars, trying to get information about where they're going to strike next. So it looks like the scars are also a little bit more dangerous than we might have been led to believe, even if they don't have um, even if they don't have the resources that the wolves have. uh, I feel like their beliefs really take them a long way. So yeah, he ends up killing Isaac ends up killing this dude because he realizes that he's never gonna tell him anything. Like as he's torturing, he's using a hot pan to burn him. And when he turns around with the pan, he's already like Malcolm, who was being tortured. He offers his other hand, so like he's willing to be tortured to death without revealing anything. So Isaac just, he sees it's futile and it just ends up killing him. So I like that Isaac's also pragmatic, right? There's no point in wasting his time, his energy, his resources, gas and all that. So also he was ruining his best pans that he wanted since he was, since before the infection happened. Um, Dina and Ellie infiltrate a building, which we see there's some wolves that are there, but they're dead. They've been attacked by the scars. Pretty gnarly scene. Like they hung them up. They cut out their guts. Like you still see their intestines and their guts kind of hanging out. Other wolves do show up because they had radioed in. There's an ambush. There's a chase. Dina and Ellie now are on the run. They go into the subway tunnel where it feels like they're trapped. And I'm always thinking like I was saying, how are these two people like as capable as they are in this world? They're taking on a full army. Like we know they're taking on a full army. Even just taking on a squad would be very difficult, even if they're for our protagonist. But obviously, there is the other factor out there that needs to come into the picture, the infected, and that's what happens in this one. As Ellie and Dean are stuck in the tunnel and they are about to get ambushed by the wolves that are come back. They throw out some flares, and the fungi feels the flares and obviously sends in more clickers into there. It's a lot of them that show up. The clickers ambush the train. They kill all the wolves that were there. Ellie and Dina managed to jump into this train car, which has a bunch of dead people already in it. Feels very claustrophobic. Feels just really cool scene when it comes to raising the tension and raising anxiety and all that. I really really enjoy that sequence as well. It just looks so cool as well. As they're running out, they have to go through one of those the turning doors that are on the subway exit, but obviously it's old and it's like not working properly. So Dina gets stuck there for a little bit, and as one of the clickers is about to bite her, Ellie puts out her arm, and then they shoot it. They shoot the clicker. Obviously, at this point, Dina doesn't know that Ellie is immune. So now she thinks that she's gonna die. Like obviously, they want you to think that she's gonna shoot her, but we know Ellie is immune, so like she shouldn't have any problems as long as she takes care of the bite. Um, so they go into this theater, they lock in for the night, and Ellie convinces Dina that don't shoot me, keep an eye on me overnight, and I'll show you that in the morning that I'm still me. And that's exactly what they do. When Ellie wakes up in the middle of the night and she's still normal, Dina realizes that she almost lost her. She tells her she Dina tells Ellie she's pregnant, which that kind of what was hinted at the viewer earlier. Then they have some relationships, and then they talk in the morning, and it's just a whole thing. Like it is a really like just a roller coaster ride of an episode. Um, yeah, it's crazy. They talk in the morning about their future and what they think. I almost thought that by revealing that Dina wants to really be with Ellie and she's pregnant, that she was gonna maybe that was gonna convince him to go back and then maybe try again later. I don't to extend the story a little bit, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. We end up with Ellie and Dina in the roof of this theater, planning out their next move. They're gonna do it together. So I I just don't know. I don't know how this ends up well for any of them. But we'll see. we'll see what happens. I would have liked to have checked in on the town at least for a little bit, just to maybe like, does Tommy even realize they're gone or something? But we'll see. We'll see if we go back to see the town. I would like to. I really like what was going on there, and I think Tommy is a great character along with some of the other characters that we've met. So there you have it. That is The Last of Us season 2, episode 4. Let me know what you thought of this episode. And as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.